Alright, I'm making this video of me installing front and rear sprockets and a chain on this 2010 Ninja ZX14. As you can see, I got my back sprocket, my front sprocket, my chain. This is the X-ring, and I got this OMT. This is the chain tensioner and to take the chain out. I got all this for $100 on Amazon. Definitely worth it. It's the first time doing it, so I'm gonna make a long video. And reason I'm changing all that is, as you can see, my chain has been eating through my swing arm, and I've already tightened the chain a couple of times. It keeps getting loose, and I have more than 3 spots that I marked already on the chain. Let's see where it has a tight spot. So I'm assuming it's a stretched chain. So I bought all of it at once through Amazon for $100. So I'm gonna show you guys everything you have to do to replace all this. This is my first time too, so we'll be learning at the same time. Alright, so first thing you want to do is take this bottom panel of the bike off. Very easy, just so you could have more space to work right around here. And if you have lift, it'll be a lot easier. So just go ahead and remove these. I believe you have 3 there, and 1 and 2 there, and then this one in the middle, and then you twist this at an angle, pull it towards you, and then it should come out. All right, so I took the 2 bolts down here, the 3 up here, and undid that one. Let's see, all you do is you twist it towards you. Let's see, I'm pretty sure that's how it comes out, and it comes out. I do have lights here, so I have to replace these, so I'm gonna try to just put it to the side. Alright, so there's gonna be a couple of bolts. There's gonna be one up here, this one right here, which is the speed sensor, this one down here. We're gonna be removing only this one that is hitting over there, and this one all the way in there. So you can see right in there, it's hiding. You can't see it, but make sure you get it. That one all the way in there. So there's gonna be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So, and to mention, they're all different sizes. So this is my top one, speed sensor, one to the side. This one is the longest one, it goes right there. This one, it's from the bottom over here, and then that one in there. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then that one should be the 6th one all the way in there. So make sure you know where they go and align them correctly when you put them back together. And it's also going to be a 8mm, and it works best with the extensions to get this one behind all the way over here. So 8mm with extension works great. One thing to mention, I read online, I don't know what for, but they say to hold your clutch in. So you could use either electrical tape. I'm using one of these straps to hold it in, just so you guys know. Don't know what's for, but I'm doing it just in case you guys should do too. So one thing to mention, this is gonna be pretty rough to take out, maybe on yours, but mine, I thought I was missing a bolt, but no. You just have to like wiggle it around. I had to pry it a little bit with this screwdriver from up down to the side until it started wiggling, and then you just gotta pry it up. It's almost like it has a very strong magnet, but you just gotta wiggle it all around until it comes out. So as long as you have your 6 bolts, you know you're all good to pull it out. Alright, so once this cover is off, you need to take this out. But before that, you see this, let's see if I can get it with this right here. You see how this is bent? You have to bend it back to normal so this can turn. This is like some sort of safety to put in there, but all you do is probably with a hammer, I don't know. I'll figure it out and I'll show you guys how I did it. Push this back, and then you'll be able to take this out. So let's get this out of the way first. Alright, so you can see it's already coming out. What I did use is a hammer. Try to get yourself a little skinnier flat head, because I couldn't get my bigger one in there. So just like hammer it through the side until you could kind of like bend it like that. And now what I'll use is this bigger one that I have, just to kind of bend it a little bit off the way. Not too much, I don't think it needs too much, just a little bit more, and then we could take this knot out. Okay, now to take the knot off, you're gonna need a 27mm deep socket, because it has to go all the way in. Not out here, it has to go all the way in. And I'll be using an impact gun, an electric cheap impact gun. That's from Harbor Freight. It does the job. This was $10 at O'Reilly's. One thing that I gotta mention, to use an impact gun, somebody's gonna have to press on the back brake while I brake this. Let's say you don't have an impact gun, then you could use a breaker bar. Also have somebody press the back brake. Also, I saw somebody else on YouTube say they were doing it by themselves. They got like a 2x4 piece of wood, put it in there by the chain. They wrapped it in cloth, put it in there by the chain and sprocket, and then they turned it, and that was stopping it from moving, so they were able to break it. So if you don't have impact gun, or somebody, use that method to get a piece of wood in cloth, jam it in there, and break it loose over here. If you have somebody press the brake, that works. Or if you have an impact gun, do the same thing, which is what I'm gonna do. So just make sure you get the deep socket, 27mm. All right, so I just try to hit this with a impact and then get out. So I would recommend anybody to get one of these small torches and just apply heat right to the knot. I wouldn't try any other bigger one, just because there's like, not fuel lines, but there's like all kinds of lines and the breather hoses, and I don't want anything to catch on fire, and I don't want to risk it. So if you go to like a gas station, get one of these, and if you have a lot of patience, just, you know, apply a little bit of heat around here. This one's running out of gas, but you know what I mean. And just hit it a little bit with this. Maybe tap it over here with like a rubber hammer, or a hammer, however you want to, and it should just come off. Like, just, you know, keep repeating this process and it should be good. Just don't hit it in the middle, because there's a rubber part in there, just the outside. All right, so I managed to take the nut off. I threw WD-40 on it. I tried a breaker bar, I tried anything. I tried the fire. I had to try this I tried this little torch they sell in Walmart, and then I just left the impact gun there for like at least 5 seconds straight, and I got it out. So, oh, also I put a piece of wood and cloth there, because that was like the only way for the tire to stay on. Using the brake didn't work. So a piece of plywood and a towel really does the trick, especially if you're by yourself. So now I'm gonna try to let that cool down a little bit since I applied heat, but then we'll take the sprocket out. All right, so I tried to take the sprocket out through that, thinking the chain was loose enough, and I couldn't. So I'm gonna loosen up the back tire, and what I did is I got a Sharpie, and as you can see there, I marked these things just so I know where I was when I put it back together. You know, I just like to do that. Oh, and I also loosened this knot out, and I also marked these. So I'm just gonna loosen it and also loosen these, so I could push it forward a little bit, so I could just take the sprocket out from there. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna clean that area, put the other sprocket on, see if I can, and then retighten everything back. Retighten this sprocket right there with the old chain, and then after that I'll take the chain out and do the back sprocket. Also, don't forget to take out your caliper. This is just gonna be 2 bolts right here, 2 Allen keys. Alright, so I just took it out without taking the tire. Just get the chain off the back sprocket and it should come out. I don't know if it'll go in this one so I can tighten it, but you can see the comparison. This is a lot lighter than this beefy one. Hopefully that's like no problem on performance. So there you go. Now I'm gonna try to put this one on. Alright, so I had a little bit of a struggle putting all this thing on. As you can see, I already tightened up the front sprocket. My torque wrench only goes to like 80, 81. So I hit it with 81, then I hit it with the impact gun, and I saw it got tighter. So I just did it a couple times with the impact gun until it got tight, you know, a little bit more tighter. And then, as you can see, I put the chain back because I pushed the tire that way, and then I put the chain back on, and then I unscrewed this that way so the chain will get tighter. I put the piece of wood this time on the top through the back, so when I tighten this, it pinched that way. That's how I tighten it. And now with this washer, as you can see, it's a little fucked, it's a little trashed. So what I did, because I used a screwdriver flathead and I messed it up. So if you have anything like this laying around, this worked perfect. Or like an end like this. And what I did is, let's see if I can focus. I put it like that, and I hit it with a hammer lightly, and it did the job perfectly. Like, it's that metal's so soft, it went like nothing. So that's what I done so far. I might leave the rest for tomorrow, but front sprocket is on. Now what I'm gonna do is probably take the rear tire off. So let's get to that. All right, so it's the next day. So you can see I moved these all the way in, both of them. I pushed the tire inside. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the chain off. You can do it just by hand, and then we're gonna get this tire off. So take this out, push the axle bolt across, hold the tire up, and it should come out. And then after that, we'll try to remove the chain. All right, so this is pretty hard to take out. Not hard, but it's tough. So what I'm doing, getting a piece of wood, and I'm hitting it with the hammer, slowly just pushing it out there. Hopefully it makes it easier for me to take it out. All right, so I got the tire off. Just so you know, on this caliper side, this part is gonna fall with this thing. It fell on me, just so you guys pay attention. It goes on the other side of the, where the rotor is. Just this other side has one too that goes in it. This part goes also in the other side, and that just sits on top. Also, there are your bearings. You might as well get some grease, bearing grease, put grease in there. Also the axle bolt, super dry. Let's see if I can get the light on it. Let's see, it's so dry. Look, it was corroding. It was hard to take out. So if you're by yourself, put some WD-40 in it. If it doesn't want to come out, hit it with the knot on, put WD-40 in it. Maybe it'll be easier to take out. So I'm about to go buy grease so I could grease this, and then might as well grease those bearings there, just so you guys know. Right, so I just made it back from O'Reilly, and I got this red and tacky grease. You should really get this one. It was only $8. It's the red one, obviously. It's for all good weather purpose and for the bearings. So you can see it's all dry and it's corroding. This is anti-corrosion. And what I'll do is I'm gonna take the sprocket out, and I'm gonna give this a good wash, and then I'm gonna put the new sprocket in, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do that. And then when everything's all clean and good, I'm gonna put the grease in the bearing, and then we're gonna do a light coat on this so it slides pretty nice and easy. So I'm gonna do that now. Alright, so this is gonna be a 14mm, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna unscrew those and just take it out. And then when we put it back in, I'm gonna show you guys how to do it so you don't warp this or bend it, the new one. So this is the old one. As you can see, this one is very light compared to this new one. This new one is a lot heavier, but it's a lot thicker. Like, you know, thickness all the way around. You compare them. Also, one thing to tell you guys, when you put this on, make sure that you see this flat side goes down and not this way. As you can see, the indent around. So make sure you put this flat side down with the wheel. So what I'll do is I'm gonna put this I'm gonna put that on, and then I'm gonna give this a nice clean, just because, you know, not all the time you get to clean this very good in here. So maybe not, maybe I'll just put it on and then I'll clean it after it's all put in. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this one. Okay, so when putting these nuts back in, you don't want to just put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and tie it like that. You know how when you put a car tire on, you go in a star pattern. That's how you want to tie these. But like for now, get them just flush with the metal. As you can see, they're not flush because I just can't turn it much. So I'm gonna go with the wrench and I'm just gonna get it flush. I'm not gonna tie it. I'm just gonna get it flush with the sprocket to where it doesn't move, you know. So once I get it flush, I'm gonna get my torque wrench, so I'm gonna tell you guys the torque specs in a sec. And I'm just gonna go, let's say I start with this one. I do this one a little bit, this one a little bit, this one, and this one, and this one, and keep doing the star pattern, you know, across. You do this one, you do this one, that one, and just keep doing it until just a little bit each. Like don't go straight to torque it. Once it's flush, don't go straight and torque this one down, then torque this one down. Start with a little bit at a time. A little bit here, a little bit here, a little bit here. Like one turn, you go across, one turn, you go to the other one turn, and you keep doing in that pattern until you get the torque spec, until it gets tighter. When you keep doing it, keep going in that pattern star until you hit the torque spec, and that's how you tie that on. You don't want to bend the sprocket. And by the way, keep the sprockets just in case the new ones malfunction. Okay, so for the rear sprockets, these nuts, it's gonna be 52 pounds of torque per each. 52. So first, do it half. Let's say put your torque wrench at 25 foot of torque, pounds of torque, and let's say, like I said, tighten each a little bit, right in a star pattern, you know, but put it first to 25 pounds of torque, and once they torque to 25, go them and move it to 52, and then you start again. 52. I mean, go in the pattern. So go to 25 on each, and then go to 52. All right, so I did it. I went to 20. I went to 26 star pattern. Then from that I went to 41, and then I went to 52, and now it's all nice and torqued. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this out. I'm gonna get grease. I'm gonna try the best I can put it in there, in through the cracks, and then just put this over, and then I'll get ready to put the tire on, and then I'm gonna put a very light all here of grease, red track grease, and then I should slide it in there. But before I do all of that, I need to take that chain out, so let me do that first. So I just took the chain out, and that old chain is about 2 inches longer. And if you're using one of these things that I used, don't put this on as the manual says. Use it at first to get it halfway out, then take it off and use it just like this, because it's gonna get stuck. Alright, so we got the new chain around. Next we're gonna put the tire back there, so then we can put this, and this is a X-ring. And the way we're gonna do it is, well, this part is supposed to be looking outside, so I don't know how I'm gonna do it. After that, you slide it in through the chain, then you put the 2 O-rings, and then you slide this one in, and at the end you're gonna put this safety pin thing. Don't forget to lube it. Okay, so I gotta show you guys this piece that holds the caliper in right here. When you put this back, and make sure this part goes first, this little circle thing that I showed you guys earlier, then this brake, the caliper holder piece. As you can see, is the caliper, it goes hooked there. Make sure when you put this, there's like a slit, like a little hole. This part has a hole and it slides in there, so make sure you put that, because I put mine and this thing was all over the place, this piece. So see, I don't know if you could see, you guys see that piece of metal, it slides in there. So this caliper holder has like a little slit, you slide it in there. So make sure you slide that in there, because if it's not, it's gonna come, it's just gonna come loose this way. All right, so now I got the chain right there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 2 O-rings in here. I'm gonna lube it. I'm gonna pass it through the chain, and then after I pass it through the chain, I'm gonna put 2 more O-rings, lube it. Then I'm gonna put this on, and I'm gonna press it with that press a little bit over, and then I'm gonna put this little safety pin thing on last, and then we get to riveting these things. So because I can't do this one hand, I'll show you guys when I put it on there. All right, so it's been a couple of days. I had to order one of these new links, master link, because last time I told you guys we had to rivet them. I didn't have to rivet that master link. It was just a clip and that's it, but I've never done a chain like that. So see if I can find it right here. I'll show you guys exactly what happened. Okay, this is how it works. You don't have to rivet this, and as you can see, it's like cracked. I cracked it trying to rivet it, but apparently all you do once you put it through, you put this clip right here and that's it. But I messed up the clip, and it's, as you can see, it's like overlapping this way. It's not closing how it's supposed to. I didn't feel safe using it like that, so I ordered another one of these, but they actually send me the one that I actually have to rivet. As you can see, it has holes. So I'll take this I'm gonna take this master link off, and I'm gonna put this new one on, and then I'm actually gonna rivet this one. If you get one with a clip, you don't have to rivet it. All you have to do, once you press everything, make sure this clip goes into those little holes that this brings, and that's it. You don't have to do anything else. Like I said, I've never done a chain like that. I've never seen it. This is my first time, so I was a little confused. But if you get it, do it like that. All you have to do is put the clip on. If you get one like this with, like, you can see holes in it on the top, you rivet those in. So, but other than that, I put everything together that one time, and the chain looks it's tight already. Everything was pretty smooth. So I'm gonna try to take this off, see if I can, without having to retighten everything. That'll be nice. So I managed to take the clip off, but I'm gonna have to use my riveting tool to actually take this off, because like I said, I riveted and it expanded the metal, so I can't just pry this part off because this is riveted. So I'm gonna see and mess around, see if I could just somehow rivet this off of there. So I'll find out. I'll let you guys know how I did it. So I managed to get it out with the press. I mean, as you can see, it kind of bent it because it was like tight in there. Just like that, I just kept tightening it. It came out. As you can see, it's all broken and cracked. Just so you guys know, don't do that. Now I'm gonna put the new one. I don't think I have to retighten everything because it stayed in the same place. So all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pass, lube it, put the rings on, pass it through, and then I'm actually gonna rivet this one, which is what it's meant for. Then after I rivet it, I'm gonna check to see if the tension's still the same, and I'll let you guys know how it went. Okay, so I had a problem. See, the part that I bought didn't go all the way through. So it's been like a couple days, and I had to order through Amazon an extra master link in the right size. But I also ordered a chain because I was looking up online. Sometimes these do matter and they come different sizes, so I wasn't sure. And I found this chain cheap. It has extra links. It has, like, this is a 130. That's a 116 links. So, but it brings the part I need. They just have it on. All I have to do is take this part out with the master link, and I'm just gonna exchange this part and put it in there. And then I'm gonna keep this because I heard that sometimes this is the weakest link, and if they break, it's always good to have an extra one of these with you all the time, because if the chain comes off, you could just put in another one. So, and plus I'm gonna have a brand new chain for next time I have to do the chain, so that'll work for me pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna take that part off. I'm gonna take this one off of here. I'm gonna put it on, see if it all fits. So as you guys can see, it passed through pretty nice. I don't know if it's gonna be sticking out too much, but we'll see. So now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get the other part. I'm gonna put the 2 O-rings. Now I'm gonna put this little piece and then the clip, and I'll show you guys how it looks. All right, so there's the clip. Make sure that you know there's an opening right here. Make sure that you put the closed open where the motorcycle travel, which is that way to the front. So make sure you point this closed area to the front. I did that mistake last time, and this opening backwards. So closed to the front of the bike, pointing this way. Also, I don't think I have to readjust the chain. It seems pretty tensed up. I didn't mess with this, so I'm pretty sure. But once I put it on, I'm gonna recheck that everything's nice and where it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna put this clip in all the way through, and then I'm gonna measure the chain, make sure it's in the right tension, and I'm gonna show you guys how it all doing. All right, so make sure when you're adjusting your chain, the tire is on the floor, not on a stand. See, if you're doing it on the stand like me, because the measurement is gonna be off on the stand, is gonna be different from when it's on the floor. When it's on the floor, that's when the real measurements happen. So if you're like me, I had to play around for a little bit, but you gotta make sure it's 1 inch to 1 inch point 2 of slack. And that's what I have right now. So just make sure whenever you're doing all this, do it on the floor. The reason I had it I was measuring it on the stand is I was trying to find the center, and I think the center, like where it's the tightest on the chain, and I found it somewhere around here, so that's where I measured it. But yeah, make sure you tighten all this. I was tightening all this on the floor, and then it wasn't tying it, so I put it on the stand, and then I gave it like a couple turns to the wheel, and then it readjusted, and I put it back on the floor and adjust it to the proper level. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna tighten this right here, and then put the lock nut on, and hopefully everything works. So I'm gonna let you guys know. All right, so it's been like 2 weeks of me using the bike with the new chain. As you can see, I marked where I had the scratches with a Sharpie, and the Sharpie mark is still there. It hasn't gone away, meaning the chain is tight. As you can see, it's pretty tight. I've had no issues. So I guess I would say that everything's working properly. The chain is still holding up. I do send it. It works great. So I would recommend this chain, sprockets, and everything. Thanks for watching.